In the last few years or so, we've definitely noticed an uptick in a specific kind of musical, the jukebox. These are musicals where most, if not all, of the songs you hear are well-known pop songs instead of original music. Did you know that from 2013 to 2018 alone, the Filipino theater scene has produced 8 full-length jukebox musicals? Most of them even feature some of the biggest OPM artists ever. You're watching TFM's Theater 101. I'm Nicole, and this is 8 Filipino jukebox musicals of the last decade. In this video, we talk about jukebox musicals that opened between 2010 and 2020. You've likely seen most of these shows already, so sit back, relax, and as you would in the theater, try not to sing along. Number 1. Sa Wakas, featuring music from Sugarfree. It's the jukebox musical that started it all. In 2013, 2 years after Sugarfree, disbanded, a musical featuring the band's most memorable songs opened at Peta Theater Center. It was a cult hit, especially among lovelorn romantics who liked a good hugot story. Written by Andre Pamintuan, Ina Abuan, and Cheresa Pamit, with musical direction by EJ Yatko, the musical was a modern love triangle between an aspiring photographer, an ambitious neurosurgeon, and a passionate magazine writer. It was even told non-linearly, adding to the show's already strong millennial appeal. If you're wondering what Sugarfree frontman Evidence Self out of the musical, he was at the 2017's run's closing night and even gave an impromptu performance, so we're guessing he liked it. Number 2. Rak of Aegis featuring hits from Aegis. Rak of Aegis. If you haven't seen this show once or twice before, are you really a theater fan? In the 6 years since it first premiered, fans can usually trust the show will rerun in time for the rainy season. Nothing short of what we should expect from a show whose biggest number is literally Basang-Basa sa Ulan. It's not surprising why this musical is a hit year after year. It's uniquely Pinoy in its comedy, improv, flooding, and of course, the sing-along familiarity of Aegis songs. Directed by Maribel Legarda and written by Liza Magtoto of PETA, with musical direction from Mike Salomon, who would later work on other hit jukebox musicals also on this list. Number 3. Chuva Choo featuring the music of Venhee Saturno. If you weren't able to see Chuva Choo, the Mr. Cupido musical, we wouldn't be surprised. It only had a trial run of 5 shows in 2015. If you're curious, the musical told the story of 2 amateur singers who, after witnessing a crime, tried their luck in Manila and eventually became superstars. They even found true love while they were at it. Written and directed by George De Jesus III, the musical featured 80s and 90s songs by Venhee Saturno that your parents will definitely remember. Classic karaoke hits like Forever's Not Enough, Mula sa Puso, Wala Na Bang Pag-ibig, and more were used in this show, which really tempted audiences to sing along. Number 4. 3 Stars and the Sun, featuring songs by Francis M. Hamilton wasn't the only rap musical that got Filipino theater fans buzzing in 2016. PETA, the company behind Rak of Aegis, opened their second jukebox musical, this time featuring songs by the late Francis Magalona, also known as Francis M. For this show, they enlisted Mike Salomon to turn the rapper's songs into musical theater-ready numbers for the story written by Micaela Villalon and Rodi Vera. The story was a sci-fi dystopia set in a bomb shelter and ran by a tyrant. Resources are scarce, education was limited, and people were split between the haves and the have-nots. There was even some memory wiping tech going on and, of course, a group of revolutionists ready to challenge the status quo. The dystopic future in this musical was happening in 2026. So to any of you 2026 viewers out there, do Filipinos now live in a bomb shelter run by a tyrant? Number 5. Dirty Old Musical, featuring 80s hits from artists like Yoyoy, Villame, Valera, Granada, and more. Also known as DOM, we don't need to tell you what else that acronym stands for. Either way, this musical, written by Rodi Vera and directed by Dexter Santos, does somewhat live up to its name. It's certainly more risque than the other jukebox musicals on this list that generally go for a family-friendly appeal. The story is about a group of middle-aged titos who were once part of a famous boy band in the 80s. They decide to reunite and host a fundraising concert for their sick friend. A whole lot of drama happens. Of course, they have plenty of unresolved issues, personal baggage, and midlife crises to work through. Mike Salomon is also the musical director for this show. It was the first time he and Dexter Santos would work together in a jukebox musical. They will later pair up again for a little-known show called Ang Huling El Bimbo, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. Number 6, Ako Si Josephine, featuring songs by Yeng Constantino. If you're an OPM artist, get yourself a manager like Erickson Raimundo, who celebrated Yeng Constantino's decade in the biz, not with a concert, but with a full-blown jukebox musical. Maribel Legarda, Liza Magtoto, and Mike Salomon once again teamed up for their second musical. Similar to Peta's last jukebox musical, Ako Si Josephine was set in a dystopic empire where love songs are banned. Only happy, youthful, and purposeful songs are allowed by their tyrant leader. Yeng Constantino love songs became the story's form of protest when the eponymous Josephine and her boss fall in love and fight to broadcast the love songs they wrote together. Number 7, Ang Huling El Bimbo, featuring hits from OPM band Eraserheads. If you were growing up in the 90s, we're sure songs by Eraserheads formed the soundtrack of your life. It might even be true if you didn't grow up in the 90s. Eraserheads has such a strong cross-generational appeal that when Ang Huling El Bimbo opened, it was an unqualified success. Directed by Dexter Santos with musical direction by Mike Salomon, it told the story of 3 friends from different backgrounds, their college experience, and how their female friends' tragedies affected them even as grown-ups. Viewers are largely on the fence about the story written by Ding Dong Navinario, but that doesn't change the fact that the show is a certified cultural phenomenon. Number 8, Eto Na, musical nAPO, featuring music from Apo Hiking Society. Rounding out our list is a jukebox musical that also opened in 2018. Don't let the rather cumbersome title fool you. Eto Na, musical nAPO is everything a fun jukebox musical should be. It's funny, it features Apo's greatest hits, and it can appeal to you, your parents, your titos and titas, and even your lolos and lolas. Written and directed by Robbie Guevara with musical direction by Daniel Bartolome, this show is about a barkada of college boys in the 70s trying to enjoy their youth despite living through martial law. It's a period piece that featured clothes and hairstyles of the era, as well as frequent jokes and callbacks to what's on vogue at the time. And there you have it, the 8 Filipino jukebox musicals of the last decade. This video was based on an article written by Frida Tan, published on theaterfansmanila.com. You can find a link to the original article in the description down below. Did you enjoy this video, or are you hoping for more theater-related content? Don't miss a single upload and hit the subscribe button. Over at TFM, we like giving you more of what you want, so leave a comment and let us know what you want to see next.